Greetings everybody, my name is Tommy the Game Master and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a review on Sonic Mania. Now I already talked about this game quite a bit, mainly over the fact that Sega put an outdated DRM that is easily hacked and cracked, but nonetheless is known for locking out paying customers out of a product they legitimately bought. But outside of that, how is the game? It's actually pretty good. This is the most fun I've had playing a Sonic the Hedgehog game in a very long time. The story has Sonic flying back to Knuckles Island to stop the evil Dr. Eggman from digging up some sort of magical pink gemstone that can change time. His plan is to distort time and try to take over the little green planet from Sonic CD again. Yeah, I'm not too sure about this though, because there's no actual dialogue. It's done through little skits like this one, which is just fine with me, because if you do like your Sonic games with dialogue, I hate to break it to you, but you're probably weird. I don't have any Sonic 06 footage to show you, but you probably already know you're pretty freaking weird. So guess what element of classic Sonic games this pulls off perfectly? How many of you are going to say speed? I'm here to tell you you're absolutely 100% wrong. That's the one thing I don't think Sonic fans understand about their classic series. Sonic was never about speed. Racing games are about speed, but not classic Sonic. Rather, they're about momentum, making sure you're going fast enough to get over a hill or whatever obstacle is in your way, but not going too fast that you're crashing into stuff or missing items or missing better routes. It's okay to slow down and think about what path you're taking sometimes. It's still a platformer, and some patience and skill in maneuvering is definitely required. And if you want to know what I mean by this, play as Knuckles, who is slower than Sonic and has a lot lower jump, but he can still get going pretty fast if revved up. But you do have to think about your speed a lot more with him than as Sonic, and you just see the brilliance of the level design. Speaking of the level design, it's truly top-notch in Sonic Mania. While most of the stages are remixes, they are brilliantly done. While you might recognize the opening areas of the Chemical Plant Zone or Green Hill Zone, it quickly changes into something entirely new and refreshing, oftentimes mixing in ideas from other Sonic games into older areas, leading to something completely fresh and new. And remember what I said about most of the stages? There are about 3 zones that are completely new, and their construction is top-notch and worthy of being in any of the older entries of classic Sonic. I skipped rarely a beat when I got into this TV area zone or the Press Garden zone. It felt like these could have been leftover Sonic 3 or Sonic CD stages easily. And true to Sonic and Knuckles, the Knuckles portions are very similar but have other routes through to the fact that Knuckles is able to climb and guide, giving the game a lot more replayability when you have to go through it as him. The controls are also perfect and right on the money. I had no problem stopping or getting my character started, which is important in a Sonic game. And then there's the nostalgia factor. If seeing these old areas aren't enough, some classic Sonic characters can come out of the woodwork, and hell, one of the boss fights takes cues from Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. Fortunately, it keeps the AI set to easy, so you just have to get the basic match the colors as they drop down mechanic of the game, unlike the real game, which even on easy was harder than hell in my opinion. So what do I have to complain about? Well, the game is as close to perfect as they come. There are 3 things that I like to nitpick because they kind of tick me off. First thing that ticks me off is that you see this thing here? Yeah, it's a timer. What's the big deal? Well, taking a cue from Sonic 2 and Sonic and Knuckles, the final areas are huge, and therefore, unless you get really good at it, especially with these stupid ball things here, you will run out of time and die at a 10-minute mark death. A part of classic Sonic that could have easily been left in the history book, in my opinion. And to make matters worse, like classic Sonic, if you die from an enemy attacking you, you get sent back to the checkpoint, but the timer does not reset to 0. Rather, if you die by an enemy attack, you get sent to a checkpoint with a timer that's not reset to 0, but rather to where you were when you passed the checkpoint. That said, dying from a time up does reset the timer. Still, you can easily lose a lot of lives due to this stupid and frustrating mechanic that they should have left out. Second thing that pisses me off, in order to fight the real final boss, you need to collect Chaos Emeralds that can only be gotten from bonus stages scattered around the areas. Now, fortunately, after you beat the game, you can replay any area you want, and the first area has a few easy-to-find bonus rings. But that leads to the third thing that really pisses me off. The bonus stages stink. Both types. Okay, let's talk about the ones that contain Chaos Emeralds. Now, to be fair, there are things I like about this, and a lot of effort went into making these, so I don't hate them. They're just a pain to complete, that's all. Basically, you get to collect balls to make Sonic go faster, and then you have to collect rings to get more time and navigate around this racetrack and try to catch the blimp with an emerald so you can nab it for yourself. Problem is, once you get enough balls to get going fast, you go insanely fast and almost impossible to control, making things harder rather than easier. Now granted, it's made that way so you have to think strategically about speed, but that doesn't keep these things from being any more frustrating. Some people will have an absolute blast with this. I just didn't happen to. That said, the bonus games that open up on these checkpoints are really stupid and pointless. Yeah, they take them right out of Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and while they're not bad, what you get for completing them is you get silver and or gold coins for finishing these. And what do these coins do? Nothing in-game, basically. It's so you can unlock stuff in the options menu, but then they have no one-ups or any rings that you could get in this area that could help you aren't included. So, yeah, if you're trying to enter these things to help yourself get through the basic games, they're pointless. And yes, if you're a trophy hunter, you have to complete these stages perfectly to unlock the gold coins. Glad I don't really care about Steam achievements in the same way I care about trophies and Xbox achievements, because that just sounds like an enormous pain in the ass to get a platinum trophy, if you ask me. Okay, so I do have some reasons to say the game's not perfect, and it's not. But there is a lot of heart and soul put into this game. It's one of the better attempts at bringing something retro into the modern age that I've ever seen. If you like classic Sonic, you will have a good time with this. If you love classic Sonic, then you have probably already played this, but if you haven't, you really should. Now, I love the way this game looks. This is how to bring back a classic game, and it looks. It looks like what you remember the Sega Genesis games looking like. Not like they actually did, as there's a lot of H spots, especially if you're playing it on an actual Genesis where it has some really low resolution, but rather what you remembered as a kid. Bright and shiny and just beautiful. All the game sprites were made for this game, but they took a lot of inspiration from the classic sprites and backgrounds. Well, we get a game that looks just like classic Sonic without any age spots. This is Sonic viewed with all the nostalgia glasses put on, and I just love the way this game captured that, and it just runs so smoothly. Wonderful remixes of all your favorite Sonic tracks from Green Hill Zone to Flying Battery Zone. The remixes are wonderful and the new music just sounds like a classic Sonic game should. Again, this is like the music you think you knew as a kid, listening to it without any of the hardware limitations that actually gives the older games their age spots. It sounds wonderful and I just love it. While Sonic Mania isn't perfect, and very few games are, it comes as close as possible, and I can see this actually being a very new, but at the same time very retro game. It not only honors the classics, but it improves upon them all in the right ways. I want to go back and play through the classic Sonic the Hedgehog games again just to see how much better the Mania versions are to them. Despite the fact that Sega made the idiotic fact of adding de novo to it, the game is still worth getting. It's still really fun and is definitely worthy of a pickup. Anyways, folks, this is Tommy the Game Master, thanking you for listening to this video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below, and I would love to have you click on that subscribe button and add yourself as a member to my community. I'll see you guys later.